Hey folks, I'm back doing another video I'm really excited about because actually Linda over at Linda's Pantry did a video on what she would and would never can again, and I thought, what a great idea. Then I noticed that she was, had other people doing it, so I contacted her and I said, hey, you mind if I do that? Because we all have different ideas of what we would and wouldn't can. And she said sure, because she's so sweet. But I wanted to start off with talking about the references that we use to can, and I'll show you my favorites. I've talked about this one a whole bunch. This one is the Complete Guide to Home Canning. It's from the USDA in National Center for Home Food Preservation. Super cool thing about this entire guide is if you can watch YouTube videos, you can look this up and you can print off anything you want from it. You can print off the entire book if you want. You just simply type in Complete Guide to Home Canning, and each section is a separate PDF. I keep this and I've downloaded it to my Kindle, I've downloaded it to my phone, and the reason I do that is because if I'm out and about and I think, oh, they're having a sale on something, I can look this up and kind of get an idea of how much I would want to buy to make certain things. So that's good. The other one is, of course, the classic Ball Blue book is the deal. That's just the best. But the new one is super fun. Lots of really great recipes in here, and I love the fact that it does small batches so that you can try things out and see if you like them. It's not very expensive to try something out that way because you could do like the chicken gravy meal in a jar and just have to buy a few chicken breasts. It's not very expensive, and it's a great way to start. And it's also a great way to start canning. If you're nervous about it, you don't want to invest a lot, or you don't have a lot of jars and extra things, it's a great way to do it. There's a lot of good recipes in here, and you can see I have some plans, so that's a good one. This one came out kind of before that one. I found this one, and I love this one. The thing about this one is you really should not use a publication that's more than 10 years old because research continues to get better, and some things can become out of date. The publication is over 10 years old, but when I see a recipe in here that I like, what I do is compare it to the modern, newest things for like each item that's in that recipe, like carrots or potatoes or whatever, and I compare it to make sure that these recipes are still fine. So, and I did have a video on how you can do that. The other one is the So Easy to Preserve book, and this is from the University of Georgia Cooperative Extension Office. It's kind of like the be-all, end-all. I know a lot of people that are master food preservers that love this book, and it's really a great book. So that one's a good one too. And I will tell you, I also have this big book. Look at all that. A lot of stuff. But I am a certified master food preserver. I've never actually said that, but I certainly am. People figured it out because of the way I have these publications and things in my videos. But my videos, this is a disclaimer, my videos are my videos. They have nothing to do with our program. But because I am a master food preserver, it's really important for me to make sure that I'm sharing proper methods and techniques and procedures. And this is a book that we get. Look, we have workshops every year. This is last year's schedule. But see all those publications, tons and tons of them. You can have every single one of these, and not just from the University Extension Office that I'm associated with, but any of them. And you've seen, like when I did things that you're not going to find in these books, things like when I pickled fiddleheads. That's not in any book, but I knew I'd seen it, and I thought, I wonder how it could be done. So I researched it, and I found a publication from the University of Maine, because fiddleheads are a common product in that area. So, and we got a bunch of lingonberries out here, and I wanted to see about that, so I searched for lingonberries, and I got publications from, I think it was University of Alaska or Washington. But all of these publications that we use in our program, like for example, here's one just on jerky, and then there's one on drying vegetables. All of these publications are yours. All you have to do is, when you want to search for something that you may not have in a book, just go into the search bar however you search, whether it's Google or Bing or whatever, and type in the items. So let's say I want to type in broth. So you type in broth, and then the plus sign, and then put canning, and then the plus sign, and put extension. Then what's going to happen, the results that you're going to get are going to be, there's going to be a lot of them, but you look through them and you see the ones that are from like the University of Washington, University of Oregon, University of Alaska, University of Maine, University of Wyoming. Another big one you'll see is the Clemson University. This way, when you go to their website, is where they have their publications for each of these things that you can just print off. Like, let's just say we're going to do jams, jellies, and preserves right here. And there's one that we have for remaking soft jellies right there. That publication you can print out. So you could get yourself a big book and you could print out all the publications for the things you like. What an awesome thing. So anyway, I get a new one of those every year, and if you have an extension office in your area that does a master food preserver program, they probably have workshops. Go to them. They're fun. I'm doing another one this weekend. We have usually one a month here, and usually they're really good. And they have a master food or preserver program, which is a great thing to do because then you become a resource for people. But that being said, let's look at my pantry and see what I would and what I would never can again. So right behind me here you can see, I'm going to try to carry you around. I have a bunch of vegetables. Carrots, aren't those pretty? Gosh, those look nice. Carrots, I'll always do vegetables. And certainly, I love doing beans. Here's some baked beans that I did. I love doing beans. These are beans that I did. And see how it's like got that darker down on the bottom, that thicker? That's fine. It doesn't hurt anything. Anyway, I love having vegetables on hand. If you don't use them quick enough, you can always do things like these sweet potatoes. Is that sweet potatoes? Yeah, sweet potatoes. I wanted to make sure those weren't pumpkin chunks. But you know what? You can also just take those and mash them up and have like mashed sweet potatoes. What a great thing. So I will always can vegetables. I will always can broths because I use that when I'm making rice. I use it when I'm in recipes. I use it for tons and tons of stuff. So anytime I cook something that has meat, I will take those bones and put them in the freezer. And then I will gather those after a period of time. I have enough of them. I'll throw them in a pot and make a big pot of broth. So that's awesome. I'm going to move my buckets here that I was sitting on while I was doing my video. There we go. So I will always do vegetables. I will always do broths. And down here, oh yes, tuna. Is that tuna? Nope, that's salmon. Ha. I will always do fish, like fish things. Tuna, salmon. Here's some more salmon that you can see. And then here's tuna. I got lots and lots of tuna down there. In the back there's some tuna. And I usually do tuna every other year because I'll do enough for a couple of years. And so I love having tuna on hand. And honestly, if you have ever tasted home canned tuna, oh my goodness, you could never go back to store-bought. It's just amazing. Another thing I will do, I like doing things like kind of meal in a jar type things. That's a beef stew. And I did have somebody comment that it looks like soup. Well, yeah, because we know about canning things that are too thick. To make this beef stew, all you do is pour the broth out, thicken it like you would a gravy, and then put the other things in there, let it get hot, and you got your beef stew. Here's some bean soup. That's a good idea. This is actually turkey vegetable soup, and what that was is the turkey, after I kind of boiled the bones and I got the turkey off, I put vegetables in there. So it's kind of a turkey vegetable soup, and that was left over from Thanksgiving. So why, you don't have to freeze everything, can it, and have it later. I love having meals in a jar kind of things. And this is the one that's the chicken and the gravy in a jar from the new book, the new ball book. So I love having those just for convenience. This is clam chowder base. All I have to do is thicken that. But my ultimate favorite to have on hand are meats. So here I have a bunch of chicken, and I did videos on all of these. I have different flavored chickens. There's down here, what is this one? Oh, that's just some more tuna. That's the tuna. That's actually the one that my husband caught. And here's a ham roast. I love having meats because they're such a quick and easy thing to put in casseroles, stuff like that. So I'm going to swing around, and I'm going to show you over here, lots of pickles. Love to have pickles, and this is actually really good. I need to make some more of this. It's mustard. When you make homemade condiments like mustard and ketchup, it's just so much better than store-bought. You never want to buy it again. So I love having those things. I'm a relish girl. I love having different kinds of relishes. Those are those pretty pickles, peppers my husband did. So those are good. This is the salsa. You can never have, in my mind, too many really good tomato products. I like making little sauces, like this is that Creole sauce. That's really neat for, you can actually just mix that with cream cheese and have use it as a dip. It's good. So just because something says a sauce, play around with it. Have a good time. Another thing I love to have on hand, and you can see I love it so much that I need to make more, are pie fillings. I love pie fillings, and you know what's really funny? I very rarely ever make a pie. I usually use it for crumbles and cobblers and things like that. And I have juices. I have applesauce. I'll always have those things. Jellies. Now, I'm not a jelly eater, but everyone I know is. And see, I even make them up in little 4-ounce. That's crabapple jelly, and then I put them in these cute little bags and I give them for Christmas. So those are all ready to go. Jellies, my family loves syrups, so I'll do syrups, but I'm not a syrup and jelly eater. So if I had to give up something, it would probably be that, just because I never use it. Everybody else does. And then down there's fruit. You know, you gotta have fruit. So there's that. But ultimately, what would I absolutely never, ever can again? And I can tell you immediately what that is. I will never, ever, ever can again Hamburger. Ground beef. There it is. Look at this. This is from, so gross, 2012. I just won't do it. So, and the reason is the texture is really funky. And I think because the texture is so weird is why you see so many of those videos of people dry canning ground beef. Because when you have to either boil it or cook it, and then you can it, and by the time it's canned, the texture is just nasty. It's kind of like, some people like it. Okay, I've never found anybody that's like, I love it. But it's kind of like, you know the texture of Vienna sausage? Or when I was a kid, we used to get those SpaghettiOs with the little meatballs. Those meatballs, that's gross. That's them. And so I have that hamburger. I have some chili that I did, chili flavored. And I'll use it, but I'll never can it again. And then I even did some meatballs. And the meatballs, they have good flavor. It's just the texture is really weird. And these are meatballs in beef broth. And then I did some meatballs in spaghetti too. So if I want to make chili, what I'll do is I'll can the beans with the chili flavor, and then I'll add freshly cooked ground beef. But that, out of all the stuff you see in my pantry, I would probably give up jellies if I had to, because I just don't eat them. I don't myself. I'm not like all excited about jelly. But absolutely never, ever, ever again will I do ground beef. And so that's that. And I will not can it without using an approved method. And so I'm not going to dry can it. And I even did a video on why that doesn't work. But that would be it. But other than that meat, all of these other meats are phenomenal. And actually, what's this one? This one is roast beef chunks. And this, I did a video on this. And I roasted it. And oh my gosh, it is so good. So I love having meat. That's my favorite. My favorite is having meats and fish. And then, oh, another one, I used this last night, loved it. I did a video on this too, are the mushrooms. Gosh, those were really good. And they're just, I don't know, they just seemed better than store-bought. So, oops, turn over. There you go. So, and I'm a little shy in my tomato side, so I need to get some more tomato stuff. I'll always have that, because I use a lot of that in my cooking. And so there it is. There's my pantry. This is all the pressure canning side, and there is all the boiling water side, which is all your fruits and jams and jellies and pickles. So those are all on that side. But there it is. That's what I would do. So I hope that helps, and I hope I gave you some good references with the books I use. And let me know if you want any more information. I'll be happy to give it to you. Thanks for watching.